been practicing this in Canada for over 20 years. So he is not just a man that gets up and decides to do this. He has been doing this for many, many years. He is a registered doctor, a TCP to be precise, from Ontario, and has a TCM clinic in Toronto, Canada. Dr. Henry has also achieved so much and has also, he's got his own clinic in Canada. He's also got his own brand name as Segi Canada line of natural health products. He joined Opulence Global in the early 2019 and became a lifestyle director 3, and became he is instrumental to opening up the markets in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, etc. His network extends to more than 29 countries and still counting, and he has done this in so many countries and in territories. So, Dr. Henry, tonight, I welcome you. Please, can you show your camera so that the ladies and gentlemen can see your face and know exactly who you are. Welcome. Welcome to the call.
All right. Okay. Let me see which way it's working. Should be this one.
I cannot see you.
We're going to see the camera. Okay. Let me see. I think this one. But if I figure this out, maybe. Just one second.
Mr. Matthews, welcome to the call. Alison and my dear Avril, welcome.
There we go. I think
Thanks, there you are.
Yeah, this might be a little better. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Stella. It's a wonderful opportunity that I'm actually very happy to be on the call with you and everybody online. I also see a whole bunch of other people that I know. I see Juliet. I see Ralph. I see Sanjay. I see George. Okay, and we have more people coming. Wendy, thank you for joining the call. And it's a pleasure for me to be part of this seminar, and then I will share my knowledge. So thank you for introducing me, Stella. I immigrated to Canada about 30 years ago, and I have been very active in the natural medicine field, and this is actually my clinic. So this is where I am. This is in Toronto, and I have been doing this over 20 years now. I have my own line of products, so I actually design and make products, manufacture them, and then I sell them to doctors, to clinics, to naturopaths, and people around the world, health food stores. So we here we have big wigs, people coming from all over the place. We have Kofi Annan, we have Bill Clinton. So people, the big guys, the big people, they deal with our clinic. So I have all these pictures of these big people here. That's Kofi Annan, and that's Bill Clinton up there. You can't see them very well, but this is just what do we do here, and we help a lot of people around the world. So with the Opulence Global, it's has been a pleasant journey. I like the fact that the product is so affordable. That's why my team is in over 29 now countries and territories, and it's still counting. Hopefully we get to as many as 60 countries and territories. I know Renee has almost like 169 countries in his team, over 28,000 people in his team. So I'm looking forward to increase my team and in more countries. So I'm just getting started. And this is a powerful platform where we can talk to people around the world. And so now, let me just get started with just the basic information about men's health. And then we'll have some testimonials, some questions from people. So let me share my screen. So here it is. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, that's wonderful. So now, with the men's health, it's definitely a very important topic. But before we start, we would like to make this what we call a disclaimer. The fountain of life is not a cure for any disease or any ailment, but simply nature's most powerful plant antioxidant that helps lower the appearance of aging and protects our body from free radicals that can lead to health issues over time. Again, my official title is Registered TCMP, which stands for Traditional Chinese Medicine Practitioner. So officially in Canada, we are not really allowed to be called doctor. So if you need to address me, just call me Henry. I'm very happy with that. I know it's it's a long title to call TCMP, and maybe most people don't even know what it is all about. So just call me Henry if you need to address me. And this, let me jump right into the topic of men's health.
Henry, before you move on, can we get a full screen of your, because we're seeing all your slides? That would be great.
See the full screen? Okay, let me see whether, probably this one, okay. Is this better?
Yeah,
That's better.
fantastic.
All right, okay, I shared the wrong screen. Okay, so the erectile dysfunction is what a lot of people, especially people with the age of 40 or some people even younger, they suffer this this problem, men's problem. Typically, erectile dysfunctions. It's also called impotence, as a type of sexual dysfunction in which the penis fails to become or stay erect during sexual activity. It's the most common sexual problem in men, although its connection to self-image and to problems in sexual relationships. Erectile dysfunction can cause psychological damage as well. So in about 80% of cases, physical cause can be identified. These could include cardiovascular disease, diabetes, neurological problems, such as those following prostatectomy, hypogonadism, and drug side effects. About 10% of cases are psychological impotence and caused by thoughts or feelings. Here, there is a strong response to placebo treatment. So this is about the erectile dysfunction, and the current treatment are very limited, and they have a lot of them have side effects. So the typical treatment involves addressing the underlying causes, lifestyle modifications, addressing psychological, psychosocial problems. In many cases, treatment are attempted by drugs, which dilate the blood vessels, allowing more blood flow through the spongy tissues of the penis. Other treatments less commonly used could include prostaglandin pellets inserted in the urethra, or smooth muscle relaxants and vasodilators injected into the penis, penile implants, penis pumps, and vascular reconstructive surgery. So these are the current treatments that we know there exist, but they usually, as we said, there are side effects and a limited function. So what we would prefer would be what we actually come to the fountain of life. The fountain of life is nicknamed for men's health, and it supports prostate health, promote heart health, benefit the appearance of the hair, and promotes sexual health. And the Fountain of Life contains nature's most powerful source of lignans, antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties, lowering the factors that causes age-related men's issues. Well, so these are the list of the benefits of the Fountain of Life. We call the antioxidation, antimicrobial, antiviral. These are the things that cause aging. They cause blood quality deterioration. It causes blockages in the blood. It causes the weakness in the kidney, in the liver, in the heart, even in the digestive system. And that's just causing the whole aging of our whole body. And for the Fountain of Life, we all know now that it has function to fight all these issues by the antioxidation, antimicrobial, and antiviral. So by cleaning the blood, we help with the blood sugar issues and by helping with the liver. Usually our liver is connected to the connected with the blood cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure. So when we use the Fountain of Life to clean our blood, cleanse our liver, actually a lot of our issues are related to the liver. The liver has hundreds of functions to do for our job, for our body. It does a synthesize, breakdown, detox, and clean. It's almost like a sponge in your kitchen where you use them to wash dishes. Over the years of your life, it tends to get it's almost like a kitchen foam. You get greasy, and we can afford to throw away the old used ones that's greasy, but we can't really throw away our liver. When you do that, you are in big trouble. So when we increase the blood flow by cleaning the sugar, cleaning the cholesterol, and lower the triglycerids. Triglycerids is the fatty particles building up in the blood. Usually the normal range, high normal is 1.7. If you go over that, your blood becomes sticky. By sticky, it's almost imagine if your blood is like red wine, it's easier to flow. But if you change your blood into like a maple syrup, how about that? If you imagine that, then the blood flow is going to slow down, and it's going to put pressure on your blood vessels, on your heart, on your kidney even. It damages the kidney when the pressure is too high. And also the sugary cholesterol stuff that's in the blood, it also plug and then block the kidney function. That's why people getting swelling, they get frequent urination, they get a uric acid buildup, you name it. Just so many things that can go on when our blood is not clean. And eventually it causes arteries blockage in the coronary arteries, that's a heart, and it can be a stroke, and it can cause damage in the brain in the form of a stroke. So to clean the blood, the Fountain of Life is very effective in doing that. We have a customer, her name is Safia. She had a blood clot in her lungs and in her leg. And then by using the Fountain of Life, she actually cleared it up in about 2 months' time. The blockage, which was completely blocked, and she was able to dissolve that. And when you increase the blood circulation in your body, the blood circulation would be easier and it's more efficient. And this is where the manpower coming from. And also, when you use the Fountain of Life, because of its warming up property, as we know, the Fountain of Life is extracted from the Norwegian spruce tree that grew on the mountaintop of Finland. Finland is like northern tip of Finland stretched to the North Pole. When it's high up in the mountainous area, and it's especially in the wintertime, it goes down to -45, -50. With the wind chill, it can go down to even -60, -70. So with that kind of severe cold weather, you can imagine any other plants cannot survive in there. But the Norwegian spruce tree, they can live to almost 10,000 years. As much as 10,000, we have documented trees that live to 9,000 something to close to 10,000 years. So as you can imagine, even over the life of 100 years, we see a lot of weather changes, storms, what do you call there's landslides and everything. But this tree can survive that many years. They grow very slow, but they survive many, many years. Imagine the type of protectant in it to keep the tree alive, to keep the tree alive and strong. There's something special in there. We call them the lignans, or the chemical name is called 7-HMR. And this is the one that keep the tree alive by preventing it from being frozen to death. So now this little liquid in there that keep the tree alive can also keep the human body warmer. So that's why when we see people recovering from like a swollen ankle or a swollen even a whole body in many areas of the body, water retention, they start to help them to drain them up. I had a customer that had a lung fluid of 2 liters they were pumping out, and they were able to drain it with the Fountain of Life. Eventually, they don't have to use a catheter like a bag to catch it. So it's actually helping the body to warm up by warming up we call the kidney yang energy. That's actually part of our sexual function. It's from. So the kidney yang energy is what we get from our sexual health. And when you strengthen the prostate or clean up the prostate, help you to stay normal, it's also, the prostate is a very important part of our sexual health. As a man, when you ejaculate, the fluid, the ejaculation coming out, almost 99% is from prostate. The actual sperm is just a small fraction of what come out from the ejaculation. So most of fluid is coming from the prostate. So when your prostate gland is swollen or it's enlarged, we call it enlargement, then it starts to cut off the flow of blood, cut off the flow of urine. It just causes sexual dysfunction. And when you get rid of the inflammation or enlargement in the prostate, you actually strengthen your sexual functions as well.
Okay, Dr. Henry, can I ask a question here? You have spoken quite a lot about the things. I think a lot of people would like to know what are the symptoms that if they notice that symptom, then they will get themselves checked out with by a doctor, because a lot of times men have these symptoms and they are not comfortable enough to go to the doctor and seek help. So what are the symptoms that they have to look out for before they start taking Fountain of Life as a preventative lignans?
You mean sexual health in general or prostate issues?
It is, I'm talking about the prostate issues.
Okay, the prostate, typically the prostate is because when we, do we have a whiteboard? When our 2 kidneys produce urine, the urine drop down to the bladder through the urethra, the pipe, and in the bladder it holds the urine, and then when it accumulates to a certain volume, then we feel the urge to go to the washroom. So now, before the urine pass out to the toilet from the bladder, they have to go through the prostate gland. So if the prostate has either swollenness or tumor or cancer, it starts to kind of lock up or cut off the flow of the urine. And that's when people have usually, most typical symptom would be they go to the washroom more often than other people. So if somebody is getting up 3, 4, 5 times to go to washroom in the nighttime, that's almost 99% of the chance that their prostate is having some issues there. So if they go to washroom more than other people, that's usually because the pressure in the bladder is always high. Every time they go, because they can't empty the bladder. That's what we call the urine retention level. So when the doctor asks you to do a urine check, is they measure your flow, they measure how much percentage is still staying in the bladder. And that's also indicator where the prostate gland is kind of swollen or is cutting off the flow. So when you're healthy, you just empty it complete. You might leave a few drops in there, but otherwise, most of it would empty and with enough flow. So young people, when they have enough energy in the body, they shoot out. They shoot out the urine pretty fast, pretty strong. But when we have prostate issues, we start to have a slower flow because it has to break through that lock, and then it becomes dripping. And that's when we notice that the prostate is being swollen or being enlarged or have cancer or tumor in that. So the urination frequency is one of the typical signs. And then because of the swollenness, you might feel some kind of like a pressure or some kind of like a soreness in the lower, like in the bottom part of your body. You can also feel that. And when people exercise or run or something, they might also feel some pressure, or they might feel some kind of a discomfort in that area. So the prostate, when some people they have urine, when you urinate, they might see the urine become foggy. It's actually because of the inflammation in the prostate that causes that secretion to be thicker than normal. So the urine become more kind of vaguer, like it's more thicker than normal. So it's not clear anymore. It's not. It's become more like a murky. So they should be able to see that as well. So that's about typical symptoms. And when they see that, they might need to check it out about that.
Okay. At that stage, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the symptoms that you need to watch out for. If you feel that you are actually urinating more often than usual, that is when you think something is wrong and you cannot empty your bladder. So that is, I personally did not know that that is a symptom. I know that in the office that I work with the young men that were there. We usually have a meeting. So the men have a meeting with say a doctor or somebody who comes in to help them. Every once in a while, you see them stand up and they start doing some funny exercise, and you think, why are they doing that? Yeah. They are trying to air themselves, especially during winter. People sit down for a long time because they need to keep warm, and our body apparently heats up, and the heat destroys or affects the prostate, and you are actually you begin to have problems. I want to ask you as well, Dr. Henry. Some men have problems if they have a high blood pressure. They tend to they take the drugs that they're being given, and it also affects their. Does it also affect their prostate, or it is the medicine that is affecting them rather than them having a prostate? And also, how many kinds of prostate do we have out there, so that the ladies and gentlemen will know?
how many types of prostate issues?
Yes. Are there different types of issues that affect prostate apart from the urine?
Yes,
The medic-
there are certain medications, certain let's say when young people if they let's say, what do they call it? They use their hand to do it too often. They keep the glands, the prostate glands, to be kind of let's say pressured, or it's keeping it working for too many hours, too long. Then they start to have prostate enlargement. So there are different ways. Medication, some drugs can also cause it to have problems, and sometimes just the aging process might just allow it to happen. So the prostate the issues can be caused by different sources, different medication, different ways of affecting it.
Okay. You can go ahead, and I'll ask more questions as we go along.
Okay, so the Fountain of Life promotes the blood circulation, and we all know when you are actually sexually aroused, it's because the heart is pumping blood to that part of the body, and then it starts to stand up strong or erected. So it's the blood circulation is very, very important. When you have a cleaner blood, and when you have a strong heart, good circulation, cleaner blood, then it's not a problem. Or especially if you're mentally you're healthy, and you have so that's very, very important for the blood circulation. And one of the things that the Fountain of Life does for us is to increase the ejaculation volume. So it's like when we get older, men get older, and then we would have difficulty having the ejaculation, especially no volume coming out. So a lot of older men, when we ejaculate, you can feel the pulse, but then you don't really see anything coming out. And men has that let's say enjoyment of the orgasm through the ejaculation breaking through, and then with a good volume, that's how they feel the pleasure. But when the prostate is having trouble, and when the blood circulation is low, and also because the prostate is not producing enough volume anymore, then they sort of like just empty shells coming out. So they don't really have that explosive sense of ejaculation. So the Fountain of Life help the body to strengthen that and move the blood faster, and then they have better ejaculation. So the benefits of Fountain of Life is in the whole body balance. When the whole body is doing better, then you will actually feel more power. So let's say when somebody is always tired, they don't feel any motivation. They don't really want to do anything. They just probably lie down and sleep. So we need the person to be pumped up, to be motivated, to be strong, and to be to feel like up to it. That's how we do the improve the man's power in that area. I think that's basically what we have for today, and then we can have more testimonials and discussions if we have more questions.
Okay, we have Kalai. Kalai, can you put your video on, and if you wish to speak, then this is the time for you to speak. Go ahead, Kalai.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, Dr. Dr. Henry. Would you advise persons to wait till they have symptoms of prostate enlargement to start taking the Fountain of Life, or would you recommend that they start taking it to prevent, them from getting enlarged prostate or anything like that? Or as soon as they notice that, the urine volume is decreasing, that they get themselves some some kind of help, some kind of supplement?
Well, the Fountain of Life is actually advisable to almost anybody without having to have prostate issues to take it. So it's a general maintenance of health. It's antioxidant. It's almost like cleaning your house. You have to clean your house, and you don't wait 1 year to clean it one time, and then the next year you clean another time. So it's like it's a maintenance of health. It's almost like as you eat vegetables and fruits. So if you don't eat vegetables and fruits for, let's say 3 months in a row, then you will start to see this peeling of your skin, and then you see that's a deficiency, vitamin C deficiency, and you don't want that. So keep eating your vegetables and fruits. Now, if now you have a better option, you can eat higher potency of the Fountain of Life. That will replace a lot of vegetables that you have to eat. I'm not saying that you don't have to eat vegetables anymore, but the high potency of the Fountain of Life is able to supplement what you are missing from your food. Sometimes the food that we eat is getting very low as well in antioxidants and in some vitamins, minerals. So we need the Fountain of Life to strengthen our body so that our organs become more strong. And then we will be able to digest food better, absorb more higher percentage from your regular food. And that way it'll be very good to keep your body young and strong. So you don't have to wait until you have symptoms. You can take it even as a teenager, as a adult man. If you have no problem, you can still take it. So don't have to wait. Hope that answers.
I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead, Abraham.
Yeah. So, Henry, there's some men, well, some women we know go through menopause, right? And
Right.
we have men with an issue of andropause. Can you explain that to us, please?
Well, men, we don't experience as typical menopausal symptoms as women. But men, we measure women by 7 years at a time. So when you're 7 years old, you start to change your teeth and you start to grow hair and more that. When you're 14, you are ready for menstrual cycles. When you're 21, you are ready to make a baby. So that's when you are really in a good, strong adulthood. And by the age 20, 28, you are at the prime of your life, almost the peak of your life. And then by 35, you start to go down, you start to get a little whatever going down. And then by 42, that's when people lose the menopausal, the hormones, and they start menopausal symptoms. And by 49, most people almost starting to get like 70, 80% of the women by that age, they are already getting menopausal symptoms. So by 56, they are already completely drained by that time, no more hormones, and then we lose period by that time, most of us. So by men, we measure by age. So an 8-year-old boy and then 16-year-old boy, they are ready to have ejaculation or more like that. And then by 24, they are ready to get married and have kids. So that's, we measure men by every 8 years. So by 56, men is like it's a few years later than ladies. So we have our menopausal for men as well. We just don't have all these typical symptoms. Men get weaker too. They lose their sex power. Some people after 40, some people after 50, but by about 60, we are really slowing down. And then that's when we really need some help if you want to continue to have sexual activities.
Okay, I have a question. It actually, the question is, I take FOL twice daily I've been taking it for quite a while now. I take about half a dropper or full dropper each time. But I noticed that depending on the type of foods that I eat, my urine frequency increases. And also, the person says they had the gallbladder removed several years ago and wonder if that would also contribute to the liver not processing the food very well. Says that they say that they sleep, and those that affecting the bladder by releasing urine in reasonable amount. So does food actually, depending on what you eat, increase the chances of you urinating very frequently?
The food you eat in general, you will, if you get a good volume of nutrients, that would help your body in general. With the gallbladder if you remove your gallbladder, then you don't have that little pocket there that's holding the bile. So our liver produces bile, and then it accumulates in the gallbladder, so that when you eat food, it can flush out to digest the food fast enough. But if you don't have a gallbladder, then when you eat food, especially greasy food, you have to produce bile on the spot. So in that case, you will have difficulty processing food. That's why when people don't have a gallbladder, they will not be able to process food as fast as they can, and they sometimes they might have to have diarrhea to flush out the food they eat. So that's why it's affecting our health in general. It might not directly relate to the frequency of your urine, but it's definitely a detrimental result on your health in general when you don't have a gallbladder. And we have one of the gentlemen is online. He actually used the fountain of life to dissolve the gallbladder stone and one of the polyps in the gallbladder, and that in that way he saved the bladder. And that's just a great testimonial to how fountain of life help our body to maintain health and keep our organs intact. Because when you have something and you suspect something, you want to remove it for the purpose of being safe, on the safe side. But when you remove an organ from our body, you are actually digging a hole in the body. So our body really need all the organs, even the tonsils. The tonsils, your thyroid, your gallbladder, your even appendix. All of these are useful organs in our body. They are almost like the frontline defense for our body. So when we remove them, then our next step would be affecting our more major organs. Like the tonsil is almost the guardian for your lungs, because all the pathogens go through the mouth, and then they can get stuck in the tonsil before they invade the lungs. And then the gallbladder is more the front line for the liver as well. The appendix is for the intestines and stomach. So these organs are all important. So if we can keep them, that's a very, very important if you can achieve that. That's a wonderful achievement.
Okay.
Henry, can I ask a question?
Go ahead,
Yes,
Berlin.
go ahead, Berlin.
Yes, you spoke about heating the body. What's the significance of FOL heating the body? What's the significance of having the body heated up or cool down when it comes to using fountain of life?
You mean warming up the body?
Yes.
Okay, yes. You know, when we call this yin and yang. Yin means the I guess the cemetery. Yang is the sunny side. So the sunny side and wind and the cold moon side. The sun has warmth and the moon doesn't have warmth. The moon is just reflecting the sun. So basically, our body is keep a balance of yin and yang. That's very, very important idea in Chinese medicine. So when you are too yin or too yang, you have a problem in the body. And that's why we have to know how to keep a balance. So when we warm up the body, it can only go to such an extent that keep us healthy and normal. If you do too much, it's going to push your body to the other extreme, and then you would be on the too young, which means it's like overheated. When your body is overheated, And sometimes in natives, we call this indeficiency. You don't have enough fluid in the body, so the body starts to overheat, and you have heat. And that's when people experience mouth sores, they experience dry skin, dry eye, dry nose bleeding. And that's, if you see a tongue with a black tongue, black tongue, it means your body is burning yourself. And it's really too much empty heat in the body that's causing scorching of your whole body. And that's almost like an ant, which is like with cracks and everything. You can see that from your tongue. Some people, they see cracked tongue, and that means indeficiency and empty heat in the body that's causing that problem. And then people start to have itchy, dry skin. So they have eczema, psoriasis, because of this indeficiency, almost like you don't have any internal fountain in the body to nourish your skin. So you don't have any moisture coming out from your pipes. So we also relate to people who have like the wealthy people. They would be the wealthy people. They would have a lawn with a sprinkle system, and when you do that, your lawn, especially if you don't mind spending the money to sprinkle, then your lawn is very, very beautiful, right? And that's almost like a 17, 18-year-old lady or girl or man. They are healthy and strong and radiant. Now, if somebody don't have a irrigating system, sprinkle system in their lawn, then it's subject to the weather. If the weather is overheated, and then the lawn starts to dry up and start to die, and then next year they might come back. But in the summer, in August or September, you can see the grass is really yellow, and it's almost like a 70, 80-year-old man or woman, right? So it's a matter of keeping the body nourished with what do we call the yin. So keep a yin yang balance in our body. It's going to make you feel comfortable. Anything go beyond. If you have too much yin, it means your body have water retention. They are like flooded. So that's when you see people swollen in the ankles, swollen. They have fluid in the liver, fluid in the kidney, fluid in the heart, and that's what they call free flow fluid in the body. And that's no good either. They'll drown in the water, and that's too much yin. So when you have too much yang, then everything's burning. You don't. When people have this what they call autoimmune disease, the Sjogren's disease, their eye glands become very dry, and they have to use eye drops. And when their nose is dry, they have nose bleeding. When their mouth is dry, they drink water like crazy. They are still thirsty. They still feel dry. So it's just a matter of keeping the body in balance. And then the functional life, because it's not too much heat, but it's just a slightly tilting to the yang side. So it keep a balance of the body. It doesn't push to the too far extreme, but it also keep it in moderate level of warmth in the body. So that's very important.
I'm not sure actually if this is a question. It says a stroke victim experiences coldness on the effective side. What length of coldness have the other stroke victim experience? I'm not sure what that question means. So I don't know if you can deduce anything, but it says a stroke victim experiences coldness on one side, on the side that they have a stroke. And how does that coldness affect the other side?
Okay, so usually a stroke person, their brain is the blood clots or blood blockage in the brain. That side of the brain that control one side of the body, usually left control right side, right brain control left side. So correspondingly, when you have one side of the body is being affected by the stroke, then that side you lose function. You also lose blood flow. You lose movement, so your muscle getting weaker. You don't move as much, so it's always colder. It's like something you never move, you never exercise, and it's always colder, and then it causes the blood stasis in the limb, and then the blood doesn't flow, so it doesn't carry the oxygen, doesn't carry the warmth in that arm. And this is typical when people have a stroke. They will feel this coldness on one side that's been affected. So for these people, if they use the Fountain of Life consistently, they can kind of warm up the body. They can also help with the brain blood vessels. If they can unblock that blockage in the brain, then the blood starts to circulate, and then they nourish the brain cells. They might be able to recover some function to that side of the limb. So different people, different damage, depending on how much is the aneurysm, or how much is the blood blockage in the brain, and that decides how cold one of the side of the body is. Some people, they can move a little bit, they just it's not as efficient. Some people, they just don't feel anything on that side. So it varies quite a bit, but using the Fountain of Life, they still have hope, some kind of a hope. It's very hard to fully recover, but it's possible that they get some improvements.
Okay, if the person actually do recover or have some kind of recovery, the prostate has been affected already, and probably they've gone into the erectile dysfunction mode.
Mm-hmm.
If at all they are able to have sexual intercourse, does that prostate affect the partner, or is it contagious? I know it might sound stupid. Is that because the prostate contains cancer? Will that affect the partner?
Usually, cancer spreads through the bloodstream. When you have blood circulation, the blood cells, cancer cells travel through the blood more instead of the ejaculation. So the ejaculation is more like a secretion. So it's usually not what do you call it, infectious. So they wouldn't pass the cancer to the other person through intercourse.
Okay, thank you very much. And please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, because we have a lot of people here, if you have a question, if you just raise your hand and ask the question, this is the opportunity that you have to ask question. If you are a man, please ask the question that you've been dying to ask. If you don't want to go to the doctor and ask this question, this is the opportunity that you have. Ask your question, please. By raising your hand, I'll give you that opportunity for you to ask the question. Please, I want to see more hands. Okay, Avril, go ahead and ask your question.
I have a question regarding cold hands and feet.
Mm-hmm.
My hands are always cold and my feet are always cold, but it's more due to winter. When it's winter or when it's raining, my hands are cold and my feet are cold. Mm-hmm. I do take the Fountain of Life. When I do take it, I feel that it's not, my hands and feet are not that cold anymore. And I don't feel chills, because sometimes I do feel that. So what properties that is in the Fountain of Life that helps with that?
Yes, we talked about this yang energy, or the warming property of the Fountain of Life, because it's in extreme cold weather, and that keep the tree alive by not being frozen to death, right? So for our human being, we need a little more extra push for the yang energy to go into the body. It's almost like when you drive a car to your driveway, and sometimes you forget to put it on a park, and you are not really pushing the pedal to the gas pedal to drive forward. So when you get out of the car, you realize your car is like still not on park yet. But that balance of not dashing into your garage door or backing down to the street, that balance is being kept by that little energy in the car in idle. So your car has a little push forward up to go on the other side, like a little slope, but the slope would push it down a little bit. So that energy keep it a balance, and this is what we need for our human body to keep it not too overheated but not too cold either. So this fountain of life help us to balance that in a normal condition, normal state. So when you take the fountain of life, especially enough dosage, it will actually warm up your blood. So that's why your cold hands and feet are being warmed up. And that gives you the kidney yang energy flow for your body to feel normal. So keep taking and until once you have give the body or the kidney enough strengthening, then you can ease off, you can even relax for some time, and you still feel warm hands and feet for some time. But if you keep taking it for forever, then you will be okay.
Okay, I have a question. I think the question has been answered already. It says, how long does FOL give a man lasting erection, and does it give a man more sex drive and stamina? I believe that is for you to keep taking the fountain of life, and I guess you will get that. And Dr. Henry, have you got anything to add there?
Well, for men, we even personally experience it. When you take 2 or 3 pumps of fountain of life the night before, the next morning, we call this morning erection. So you actually automatically come up with it. So this shows that when you take enough fountain of life, you will have a better erection. And that's how it helps you to enjoy longer than normal sex life in your life. So yeah, taking it, it also helps you in that way.
Okay, we've got Maria, Maduna Davis. Can you unmute yourself? I've unmuted you and speak, please.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks so much for the valuable information. I just wanted to find out about someone asked about a stroke, and they had a mild stroke, so I recommended it to them. So how will it help them as they would have had the mild stroke and she said the doctor said it was mild, so it didn't affect them with regards to serious injuries, but it's just their hand movement sometimes. So she wants to know if they would have circulation, if it will help with that coming back to normal.
Yes, actually, the most important thing for people with a stroke or mini stroke, whatever stroke they had, the most important is for them to prevent a bigger stroke. Yeah, because people they had one stroke and then somehow after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they are hoping to recover from an older one. Now all of a sudden they have a more massive one, and then they get bedridden. And because they are bedridden, they lose the muscle, they lose everything, and then they start to shrink. And that's a miserable process. And some people suffer 90% of the suffering in their life is being suffered in that particular time of life. So we don't want to really get into that. You just want to hoping to recover from the previous one, but the most important thing is to prevent from future ones from coming. So taking the fountain of life is definitely helpful in helping our body to warm up, to get the blood circulation going. The stroke usually happens in the brain because of the high pressure or because of the blockage. And blockage is usually related to sugar, diabetes, to high blood pressure, the blood quality issues like cholesterol and all that. So we need to clean that up, working on those things, and hopefully everything can be resolved.
Okay. I have a question. Can a man having a regular intercourse avoid developing prostate problems? That is, if you have intercourse regularly, can you avoid that?
They can avoid it. A lot of people, when we age, when you get over probably about 45, people start to have prostate issues. And by 60, let's say about 30–40% of men would have prostate issues. And if they are 70, then you're looking at about 60–70% of people would have that problem. So it's kind of in the process of aging. And if we are the special group of blessed people, you use the Fount of Life, you actually have a potential opportunity to not to have the problem until maybe you're 90, 95. So if you are on Fount of Life, you are more blessed. You have better hope.
Mm. Please, I'm not seeing any more hands.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Kalal.
Yes. There are some, you've gotten some reports of some athletes who've just dropped while doing the sport or whatever, dropped dead, and then they found out it's a massive heart attack. And usually, well, from what I've heard, it's men that has happened to, So I'm just wondering, are there certain symptoms, from your heart function that some men or we men ignore, and we don't, try and treat, and then we think we are healthy and doing strenuous activities, and then we end up, our heart cannot take it, and it becomes a fatal issue.
Well,
are there any symptoms that raise their heads, and it might be small and we ignore?
Yes, definitely, yes. I was just talking to somebody today. We were just talking about how in this age range between 45 to 65, this is actually a very dangerous age zone where most people, they would think that I have never had any problem before. I am healthy, I'm generally healthy, but then they don't really do anything for themselves. They count on the they count on their natural hormones in the body to carry them over to when they are 70 years old. But before they actually get to that age range, in this time of we call this a critical risk zone between 45 to 65, people are still busy with their life. They have parents, even grandparents maybe, and then they have kids, children, grandkids possibly. And with all of that responsibility, they might still be chasing their dreams in life. They might still be stressed out with certain things. And so they don't really see signs of things that's happening in their body. So let's say they might have some heart palpitation. They might wake up in the middle of the night because of numbness in the hands and feet, or they might feel some missing some heartbeat, or there's things that could happen. They might not even notice. And these are the things that some dizziness happening, or some sparkles in the eyes. These are all signs of weakness in the body. And for some people, they have no sugar, or they have high cholesterol. These are all potential risk factors that something could happen. So for them to be on the best defense is they kind of keep a tab on what's going on in the body, in the blood. So they check the cholesterol level, especially the LDL. They check the triglycerides level. It'll help keep it under 1.7 or something like that. And if they feel any numbness or tingling kind of things, they might want to check out as well, whether it's carpal tunnel or whether it's from the brain. And these are the factors that they need to check out. And if they do, especially in strenuous exercise and extreme competition, they want to be in perfect condition in order for them to be in, especially people who are possibly over 50 years old. They want to really watch what their body is doing. If they are not in the best health anymore, they should probably refrain from doing extraneous competition, especially like we tennis lovers, we do competition in tournaments. We play as first round, second round, third round, quarterfinal, semifinal, eventually final. You keep on the court for 5 hours to 10 hours, even 15 hours in 2 days. And that's, you're really pushing yourself to the extreme. And you have to make sure that you are really in good health in order to sustain that. So for people who are getting older, they should probably choose a sport that would fit their age range a little better, especially like Tai Chi, Qi Kong, that kind of slow motion exercise would be safer for people that are getting over 50 years old.
Thank you very much.
I thought George had his hands up.
George had his hands up. George, I unmuted you. Please unmute yourself if you still want to ask the question. Are you still there? I cannot see George. There's a question, it says, can FOL help with multiple sclerosis?
We have people using it, they get benefits from it as well. Multiple sclerosis is it's a serious disease, and we don't want to claim anything, but it's helping the body in general, warm up the body, so it helps with the pains. Multiple sclerosis usually make the muscles weaker, so they have difficulty moving, and it's all like their organs start to get weaker and weaker and weaker, and this is just debilitating disease that really needs a lot of help. And Fountain of Life would be the best tool, the best supplement to use to empower the body to fight back better. Definitely, they are encouraged to use it.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Henry. And George, you did lift your hand, or you raised your hand a few minutes ago. Please, if you want to ask a question, I did put you on, I unmuted you. You can ask that question now. If there's anybody else, please ask the question that you have. Do not go home without asking that question.
Sure.
Okay, Matthews, I've unmuted you. Please go ahead and ask your question. Matthews, please ask your question.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's afternoon here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know don't know the time for the other places, but I want to find out from you if there's any help for persons with Parkinson's disease.
We actually have a few people that had a Parkinson. They were shaking, they were not able to move, they were having difficulty and they by using it, they were able to climb a ladder and do a maintenance job. So that's a potentially good reason to use it for improving the Parkinson. We do have people using it and they had a great results. For these type of people, they might want to use a little higher dosage because Parkinson is a more serious condition in the body, and they want to use it a little more higher dosage.
Okay. I have someone whose brother was actually suffering from a very serious prostate issue, and you can see Dr. Henry is showing someone who has who had Parkinson's walking. So that is what Fountain of Life can do for you. So definitely,
yes,
that's an example. And we have someone here who have a very good testimony. I'm going to allow him to talk, and you can hear from him as well.
Okay.
Agwata Ototo, please, I've unmuted you. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay.
can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. As you have heard, I'm what I thought, and I'm from Halifax, Canada. But before I came here, I was in Mombasa, Kenya, and then I had a serious case of a cousin who had prostate cancer, which had gone for more than 10 years. And then it came an incident. One time he was traveling, and then the doctor advised that he cannot move because it was so serious, and we were supposed to take him for an emergency operation on the prostate. Because he couldn't sleep because it was like he was visiting the washroom more than 15 times a night. And then the doctor said it was a serious condition, it was going to affect him. So it was like we had to go for an emergency, very expensive operation. And then we say, okay, I advised them that now that we cannot be able to do because it was very expensive. So we needed time to raise the money. So we asked for a bit of time such that we can settle the patient as we look for money. So the doctor gave us 5 days. So what we did is we administered Fountain of Life from immediately after we were given those 5 days. But then the first night when we gave Fountain of Life and we gave a half a dropper because we said we don't wait, so let us try as much as possible to give a higher dose. And then that night, our cousin was able to sleep. He only visited the washroom 5 times that night. And then what was amazing, because the urine was very dirty, but in the morning, the urine became very clear. And then that sensation had stopped. So we continued again. In the morning, we gave a half a dropper again. And then in the afternoon, we gave another half a dropper. And in the evening, we gave another half a dropper. The following day, he slept. He only visited the washroom once. And the urine was very clear. And there was no need for that emergency. There was no need for an operation. And then from that time, we have not had an operation. He is doing well. So it acted like a miracle to us. We couldn't go for that money. We couldn't go for an operation. And then he's doing well. So my advice is for every one of us who is, especially men who are over 40 years, you go for it. Don't wait until you have an emergency. Then you can go for Fountain of Life. I've seen it give a relief from the pain of looking for money and from the pain of an operation. And we are very happy. And I continue asking anybody who can be able to take advice, please take Fountain of Life. It will save your complications. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ototo. You can hear that testimony. As we say here in the United Kingdom, you hear from the horse's mouth. Please, I'm a woman, and I cannot say it enough, and that is the reason that we actually had today's call, because we wanted to encourage you, for you to help yourself, help your brother, help your neighbor, and help them to stay alive. Because Fountain of Life is not a cure, but it can actually help you. I still have a question from Matthew. Matthew, you are muted already. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, sorry, I have to come back. I forget this one. There's a gentleman I spoke with last Friday, and I was, because one of the things I do with my, I promote the testimonies from the videos that I get in the chat. and I share them with persons, and hence that's how I get people to buy the products and so forth. And I was speaking to a gentleman last Friday, and he said I asked him how many times he normally get up to urinate. He said around 12 times per night. I said, that's serious? So I actually shared the videos with him. I haven't gotten back to him yet. But what are the recommended dosage that I can say to him that he can use, Doc?
Usually the dosage, the dosage we are talking about, maintenance dosage is 10 drops 2 or 3 times a day. If they have a condition, they increase to like 60 drops a day. If they have a like serious, even difficult condition, then they can increase to 100 or even more. So depending on their budget, depending on the body reaction, depending on how the body handles it, so the dosage can vary from 10, 20 a day to a couple hundred a day. So it's really depending on the specific condition. But the typical range would be 30 to 60 would be a good range to maintain and still have some good results.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Henry, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot see hands anymore. You've heard it all. You've heard from what the good doctor said, and please try and tell your neighbors, your brothers, your husbands about the product. You can take it to stay healthy. It's not actually when things happen, you begin to panic. Take Fountain of Life to save your own life. Also, we are so grateful, Dr. Henry, for being here this evening. And I hope that as time comes, we'll have more talk on this. And probably the next time we'll have it on women. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for being here. If you have a question, you can send the question to me and I'll be able to ask Dr. Henry right away for you. And there is a call at 8 p.m. again tonight on the same issue. Please endeavor to attend if you can. And if you can't, I believe this call has really helped you. Please, men, I beg of you, do not be shy and stay away from doctors. Go in and get yourself examined, get yourself looked at. And if you have an issue, do not shy away from the doctors. Try and help yourself. Because if you die, you are our husbands, you are our brother, and you are everything that we need. So please get yourselves checked out. It seems Matthew has got another question. Matthew, have you got another question?
Yes. What I want to find out is if this call is being recorded, will it be shared in the chat?
I have recorded it, but you have to send me your email address, or you send contact the person that invited you. Get the email address, and I will send the information to you.
Can I send my email address now?
Okay, you can do that now. You type in your email address, and when I get it, I will definitely send the call to you.
Thank you very much.
Is there any more questions?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have to run. Thank you. My customer is here. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. We are so grateful for you being here this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it all. Today, like I said, was an extraordinary call. So please take care. And I have a question from Jerry F. Jerry, please go ahead and ask your question. Jerry, I've unmuted you. Please unmute yourself. Jerry F., can you hear me?
Sorry, did you see the email address?
I have seen the email address.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it 8 p.m. Eastern time?
Yes, it's 8 p.m. Caribbean time. I'm not sure about
Okay, all right.
Eastern
Okay,
time.
so that'll be 7 p.m. Eastern time. and I sent you my email so I can get the.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. So good evening, good afternoon, and good night, everybody. We will see you again in how many hours? I think Avril will know. She is going to be part and parcel of that call. And I think I have it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so basically a lot of persons have put their email in the chat, Stella. So we would
Yes.
have to take it down before we kind of close the call. I'm not sure if you want to take a picture. I've tried to take a
Yeah.
picture, but it'll be best to get all those email addresses so we could send it to them once we get the recording.
Yes, I will definitely do that.
Yes, so there's a lot.
Stella, if you put your email address in the chat and they could take your email address. So that's just one thing they could do, and then
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do that.
email you directly.
Exactly. So that would be great. Jerry, do you still have a question or you just?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I've put my email there. I've taken some pictures. I've put my email on the chat. So please take that email address, send me your email address, and I will send the call to you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please take the email address and I will do the same. I have got to there, and there are lots of.
There's lots there,
on the
Stella.
chat.
I don't think you
Yes.
get all everybody. I think
Yeah.
somebody should take more pictures of the email
Yeah.
addresses. And then,
I have taken some pictures, not all of them. Please
yeah.
check my email address and send me the information, and I will send you the details by Gmail. I have a Gmail account as well. This
Stella,
one-
I don't see
Yeah.
your email address in the chat.
Yeah, there's not your email address. Oh, Stella, but now you got it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Everybody's asking for your email address. Yeah, I think it's best that we keep in touch with those people so they could send a recording. And also, it's a great session. I want to thank Henry for coming, taking his busy time off to be with us, and everybody who is on the call. It was fantastic for you to be here. I've seen Maria and her group from TNT is in the house. And everybody who was here, we thank you for being on this call. Valin, I could see, machine this. Then I'm not able to get everybody. I'm trying to get all those email addresses. Is there a way we can copy the chat and send it so we could get the email addresses so we don't miss anybody?
There is, yes, after the call, I will be able to see the chat. And
Yeah, I think that's the
so
best thing to do, yeah.
So I will do that and send the question.
Oh, somebody said we can do the same time.
Valin, it looks like you've got two systems open. Can you mute one and then one will be okay?
Yes, I was thinking maybe you just let the persons who want it, maybe a partner could send it to them because the chat is crazy.
Yeah, it's blowing, it's on fire.
If we have
Yes,
guests, they can get back to the person who invited them, and if we have partners, we
Yeah,
can just share it.
and we share it in the chat, yeah.
the email that I've got, I will share, and those that I don't have. I have put my email address on the chat. Please scroll down or scroll back and copy that email, send it to me, and I will definitely get back to you.
Also, Stella is saying, as you are a host, you can save the chat feature and then.
I can see the chat, yes.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
Okay,
it
ladies and gentlemen.
was great to be here. So see you guys
Yes.
tonight. Hopefully that.
So see you
Again in about
on the
4
call
hours.
tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, Kala, in 4 hours.
Yes, it's Stella Bassi 62, and the Stella is not capital. So That's a Gmail account. I put my Gmail account and my Yahoo email account. So please send them through and I will forward the calls to you. So take care, everybody. Good night,
Bye.
morning,
See you guys.
good
morning.
afternoon, and good evening. God bless you all. Take care and bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye, Matthew. Bye,
Bye.
Billy.
Don't forget to be on the other call. I will be there too.
Yeah.
I am leaving here now. I have a function for later. My sons will be performing, so I have to be their best supporter.
Yeah. We
Yes.
understand,
Okay.
Matthew.
Yes.
Good to
Enjoy
see you.
yourself,
Okay.
Matthew.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and good night, everybody.